The Abyss Explained, Mapping the Cosmic Prison of the First War. We have unveiled the secret of the First War, the great, unremembered conflict between the ordered angelic host and the chaotic, primordial forgotten ones. We know that these first children of creation were not destroyed, but imprisoned. But where? Where does one cage a being made of living sound? How do you shackle a creature of impossible geometry? What kind of cell can hold a shadow that consumes memory? The answer is not a place of fire and brimstone. It is a place of absolute, profound, and terrifying nothingness. A place known in the most secret of celestial texts as the Silent Abyss. Today, we journey to this prison. We will attempt the impossible. To map a place that defies all maps, to describe a realm that exists outside of our reality, and to understand the nature of the cosmic horrors that lie sleeping within its silent, endless depths. This is not just a story of a prison. It is an exploration of a wound in the fabric of creation, a place where the rules of our universe no longer apply. Welcome to the Eldritch Codex. Today, we seek to explain the Silent Abyss, the great, forgotten cosmic prison of the First War. The Silent Abyss is not a location in the way our minds, in their limited three-dimensional framework, can possibly comprehend. You cannot chart a course to it by traversing the cold, star-dusted void of space, for it is not a place among the galaxies. You cannot descend to it through the layers of the Earth, for it is not a part of our physical geological world. It does not exist within the known 9 worlds of the Norse sagas, a branch on the great tree Yggdrasil. It is not found in the ordered, radiant structure of the Silver City of Heaven, nor even in the deepest, most fiery and tormented pits of hell. It is a pocket dimension, a fold, a deliberate and carefully constructed flaw in the very fabric of reality, a place stitched into existence by a power that defies imagination. It was created by the singular, focused will of the Creator at the end of the First War, not as an act of vengeance against his first children, but as an act of terrible, sorrowful, and absolute necessity. It was the only viable solution to the problem of containing beings who were, themselves, living, breathing, and screaming paradoxes. Imagine, if you can, that all of reality, all of existence as we know it is a great, infinitely complex, and perfectly woven tapestry. The laws of physics, the steady and relentless forward march of time, the unshakable principles of logic and reason, the very concepts of light and sound and self, these are the threads, spun from the will of the Creator, that make up the beautiful, coherent, and understandable image of our universe. The Silent Abyss is a place where the Creator, in an act of unimaginable, divine surgery, took a small, isolated section of that magnificent tapestry and, with a precision that is both terrifying and awesome, simply pulled the threads out. It is a pocket of uncreation, a bubble of pure, unadulterated, and featureless nothingness, stitched into the backside of our existence, a place defined not by what it is, but by everything that it is not. Its purpose, therefore, is not to punish. The concept of punishment requires a shared understanding of law, of right and wrong, and the forgotten ones, the firstborn of creation, existed long before those concepts were solidified into the moral firmament of the universe. They were not evil, they were simply and fundamentally incompatible. The purpose of the abyss, therefore, is to negate. The beings imprisoned within its silent depths are so fundamentally antithetical to our ordered reality that the only way to contain them is to place them in an environment that has no reality for them to be antithetical to. You cannot break a law in a place where no laws exist. You cannot be a paradox in a realm that has no logic for you to defy. You cannot scream in a world without sound. The entrance to the abyss is not a physical gate of iron or stone, not a swirling portal of shimmering, magical light. It is a conceptual one. It is a wound in the cosmos, a scar left over from the unimaginable violence of the First War, a point in the vastness of creation where the rules of our universe grow thin and weak, where the fabric of reality is frayed and worn, and where the profound, silent emptiness of the abyss can be felt as a tangible, soul-chilling cold, a spiritual vacuum. This threshold is guarded eternally, not by a legion of angels with flaming swords, for such weapons would be useless against a conceptual threat. No, it is guarded by the singular, focused, and unblinking will of the Archangel Michael. His very being, his perfect, ordered, and absolute devotion to the principles of the new creation, acts as the final, living seal upon the gate. His faith is the final bolt. His loyalty is the final ward. His memory of the horrors within is the reason the gate remains shut. He does not just stand guard at the gate. He is the gate. To pass through this conceptual gate, to enter the silent abyss, is to leave behind everything you know and everything you are. It is a journey of deconstruction, a slow, terrible unraveling of the self. Imagine a traveler, a being of light and thought like an angel, straying too close to this wound in reality. At first, they would feel a profound sense of disorientation. The comforting certainties of their existence would begin to waver. They would lose their sense of direction, as the very concepts of here and there cease to have meaning in a place with no dimensions. Then, they would lose their sense of time as before and after collapse into an eternal, unchanging and meaningless now. The past, the present, and the future would become one, a single terrifying moment that never ends. The light from their own divine form would begin to fade, not into darkness, which is merely the absence of light, but into a state of unlight, a place where the very concept of sight is meaningless. And the glorious music of the celestial spheres, the constant hum of creation, would vanish, not into quiet, but into a profound, absolute silence. A silence so deep that it has a physical presence, a pressure, a state where the very potential for a vibration does not exist. Finally, the traveler would lose their self, their memories, their thoughts, their very consciousness. The I that makes them who they are would begin to dissolve, to unweave, like threads being pulled from a tapestry. They would be deconstructed, their essence returned to the state of pure, chaotic potential from which they were first formed. For in the silent abyss, there is no tapestry. There are no threads. There is only the silent, cold, and eternal void. And in that void, the first, terrible and beautiful thoughts of God lie sleeping and dreaming of a reality they can no longer touch. To speak of the geography of the silent abyss is, in itself, a paradox. For how can one map a place that has no dimensions, no up or down, no here or there? The human mind, and even the angelic mind, recoils from the concept. But the abyss is not a single, uniform void. It is a layered prison, a work of divine and terrible genius, with each conceptual layer designed with chilling, poetic precision to contain a specific type of chaotic being. Its geography is not one of space, but of tailored negation. To travel deeper into the abyss is to shed more and more of the laws of our own reality, to witness a series of punishments that are also, in their essence, perfect definitions of the prisoners they contain. Let us attempt the impossible and chart these layers. The first layer, the entry hall of the prison, the realm that lies just beyond the gate that Michael guards, is known in the forbidden celestial texts as the Sea of Tranquility. But this is a terrible, cruel, and ironic name. It is not a sea of water, or of any liquid. It is a sea of absolute, perfect, and profound silence. This is the layer designed to contain the being of living sound, the one known as the discordant choir. In our reality, its voice could shatter worlds. It did not speak or sing in the way we understand it. It was sound. Its very being was a symphony of creation and destruction, of notes that could build galaxies and chords that could unravel them. During the First War, its cry was a weapon of pure conceptual power. But here, in the Sea of Tranquility, the very concept of vibration, of sound waves, of a medium through which a note can travel, whether it be air, or water, or the celestial ether, does not exist. It is a perfect vacuum, not of matter, but of possibility. The discordant choir can scream for all eternity, its silent, spectral, multidimensional form open in a cry of pure, frustrated power, but its cries will never have a medium through which to travel. They will be born and die in the same instant, a thought that can never become a sound, a song that can never be sung. It is a being of pure sound, trapped for all time in a realm of perfect, absolute silence. Its greatest power has been turned into the very instrument of its eternal, silent, and maddening torment. If one were able to descend past this silent, suffocating sea, one would enter the second, and perhaps most mind-bending, layer of the prison, the labyrinth of unchanging form. This is the prison of the creature of impossible geometry, the shifting seraph. In our world, its very form was a maddening, ever-changing paradox. It was a being of infinite, chaotic, and fluid change, a creature made of angles that were both acute and obtuse at the same time, of lines that were both straight and curved, of surfaces that were both concave and convex. To look upon it was to invite madness, as the logical, ordered mind tried and failed to process a form that defied all the known laws of geometry. But the labyrinth of unchanging form is a realm where the laws of geometry are absolute, rigid, and singular. It is a place of perfect, unchanging, and endlessly repeating patterns. Imagine a single, perfect crystal that extends in all directions forever, its facets always the same, its structure perfect and unalterable. The shifting seraph, the being of infinite change, is trapped within this realm of absolute stasis. It is forced to hold a single, static form for all eternity, a form that, while still paradoxical, can never, ever change. It is a state that is as agonizing for it as being held in a perpetually flexed and cramping muscle would be for a human. It is forever prevented from becoming, and is forced only to be. It is a living, breathing paradox, frozen forever in a single, unchanging state of being, a maddening monument to its own eternal contradiction. The third layer is a place of even more subtle, more personal, and more terrifying cruelty. It is the library of empty shelves. This is the prison of the memory eater, the great, silent, and hungry shadow that consumed thought and identity. In our reality, it fed on the memories, the histories, and the very sense of self of other beings, growing stronger and larger with every soul it hollowed out. It was a being of pure psychic hunger, a predator of the mind. But the library of empty shelves is a realm of pure, conceptual emptiness. There are no other beings here. There are no thoughts to consume, no memories to steal, no histories to devour. The shelves of this infinite silent library are, and always will be, utterly, completely bare. The memory eater is a being of pure hunger, trapped for all time in a realm with absolutely nothing to eat. It is forever starving, a predator in a world utterly devoid of prey. And so, over the long, slow, and desperate eons, its own hunger has turned inward, and it has begun, piece by agonizing piece, to consume its own ancient memories. It is slowly, methodically, and eternally unmaking itself, devouring its own history, its own identity, one forgotten thought at a time, until one day, it will be nothing but a mindless, hungry shadow, with no memory of what it is, or why it is so hungry. And at the very bottom of the abyss, in the deepest, most secure, and most fundamental layer of the prison, a place so far removed from our reality that it is almost a separate creation entirely, lies the final and greatest of the prisoners. Here, in a place known only as the chamber of the still point, lies the Shaper. The Shaper was a being of infinite potential, of endless, glorious becoming. Could be all things at all times. It was a quantum cloud of pure possibility, the very embodiment of what if. It was the Creator's first and most beloved creation, a being that held within it the potential for all the things that could ever be. And so, its prison is a place of absolute singularity. It is not a room. It is not a space. It is a single, unchanging, infinitely small and dimensionless point. The Shaper, the being of infinite possibility, is trapped in a realm where there is only one possibility, to be and to be nothing else forever. Its greatest gift, the gift of endless change and infinite potential, has been turned into the ultimate, most absolute curse. The curse of eternal, unchanging, and absolute stasis. This is the terrible, ordered, and chilling geography of the great cosmic prison. A place where the punishment is not pain, but a perfect and eternal negation of the self. This terrible, multi-layered prison, this masterpiece of divine and coldly logical engineering, is not left unguarded. As we have unveiled, the great Archangel Michael is its eternal warden. But his duty is not a simple one of standing at a physical gate, his great sword held ready against a tangible foe. His role is far more intimate, far more profound, and far more torturous than any battle he has ever fought. He is psychically, spiritually, and inextricably linked to the prison. His very being, his perfect, ordered, and unwavering will, acts as the final, living lock on the conceptual gate. His faith is the final bolt. His loyalty is the final ward. His memory of the horrors within is the very thing that gives the prison its integrity. He does not just stand guard at the gate. He is the gate. This is the source of his eternal, unspoken, and unimaginable burden. He can feel the prison at all times. It is a constant, low-level hum in the back of his divine consciousness, a dissonant note in the otherwise perfect symphony of heaven. He can feel his former, elder siblings in their silent, eternal torment, their very existence a constant, dull ache in his own spirit. And more terrifyingly, on rare occasions, when the fabric of reality is stretched thin by some great cosmic event, the birth of a new universe, the death of a great god, or even a great world-shaking war like the one his brother Lucifer would later wage, can hear them. They do not speak in words, for words are a construct of our ordered reality, a tool too simple for their complex, chaotic natures. They speak in pure, conceptual broadcasts, in waves of raw, unfiltered being that wash against the shores of his mind. From the sea of tranquility, he will sometimes feel a wave of pure, silent, frustrated sound, a feeling like a scream with no air to carry it, a pressure against his mind that is the ghost of a note that can never be played. In the midst of the celestial choir's most glorious hymn, he will, for a fleeting, terrifying instant, feel a profound and suffocating silence, a sense of absolute deafness, as if the universe itself has gone mute. It is the echo of the discordant choir's eternal, soundless scream, a scream that only he can feel. From the labyrinth of unchanging form, the whispers are more insidious. He will be in the midst of his duties, reviewing the perfect, divine architecture of the Silver City, and he will be afflicted with a sudden, momentary vision, a flash behind his eyes of a maddening, impossible angle, a shape that his mind knows should not, and cannot, exist. The perfect, straight lines of a heavenly colonnade will seem to bend and twist for a split second, the corners of a celestial hall appearing both acute and obtuse at the same time. It is a fleeting, sanity-testing glimpse of the geometric horror his brother angels once faced, and it leaves him feeling dizzy and disoriented. His perception of the perfect, divine order momentarily warped and twisted. From the library of empty shelves, the assault is more personal, more violating. He will feel a sudden, inexplicable sense of loss, a momentary terrifying blankness in his own perfect angelic memory. For a split second, standing in the presence of the Creator himself, he might forget the name of a star he helped to place in the heavens, or a verse of a celestial song he has sung for eons. It is a small piece of his own identity, his own history, momentarily consumed by the echo of the great psychic hunger of the memory eater, a chilling reminder that what was done to others could, on a conceptual level, be done to him. And from the deepest layer, from the chamber of the still point, from the great and tragic shaper, comes the most dangerous and most seductive whisper of all. It is not a feeling of pain or of madness. It is a whisper of potential, a silent, telepathic broadcast of a single, powerful, and beautiful image, a vision of what could have been. During his long, lonely watches, as he stands guard over creation, the Shaper will sometimes project a vision directly into his mind. A vision of a different creation, a universe of beautiful, chaotic, and wonderful possibility. A universe where the forgotten ones were not imprisoned, but were allowed to flourish. He sees worlds made of living music, where mountains sing and rivers flow with pure emotion. He sees galaxies of shifting, impossible, and breathtakingly beautiful colors and shapes. He sees a cosmos not of order and law, but of infinite, artistic, and blissful chaos. A universe where no one was judged and all things were possible. And with this beautiful, tempting vision comes the silent, telepathic question. A question that has haunted him for uncounted eons. A question that is the ultimate test of his faith. Was this ordered world truly the best choice? Was it worth the price of imprisoning us? Was this simple, predictable story worth sacrificing 1,000 other, more beautiful, more interesting ones? This is the true, hidden nature of Michael's eternal battle. It is not fought with a sword against the legions of hell on a physical battlefield. It is a silent, internal, and never-ending war of the will, a battle to maintain his own faith, his own belief in the righteousness of the ordered creation, against the constant, subtle, and maddening psychic whispers of the beautiful, chaotic, and terrible prisoners he is sworn, and forever bound, to guard. Every day, every moment, he must choose to believe in the rightness of his first, and greatest, and most secret war. The silent abyss, then, is more than just a prison for ancient, forgotten monsters. It is a cosmic oubliette, a place of profound metaphysical significance. It is a library of burned books, a gallery of shattered masterpieces. It is, in its essence, a prison for ideas. The beings trapped within its silent, non-existent walls are not just creatures. They are concepts. The concept of a reality that is not bound by our laws of logic, of sound, of form, of time. They are the beautiful, terrible, and chaotic first thoughts of the Creator, locked away so that a single, stable, and coherent narrative our own universe could be written. The abyss is a silent, eternal testament to the terrible, necessary, and sorrowful choices that must be made in the very act of creation. It is a chilling reminder that to create something stable and understandable, something beautiful and chaotic must often be sacrificed. It is the story of a divine creator choosing one path, one reality, one version of the story, and sealing all the others away in a darkness from which they can never return. The beings within are not evil in the way we understand it, in the way that Lucifer and his legions of demons are. They are not fallen. They did not choose to rebel against the established order. They were simply and fundamentally incompatible. Their very existence was a threat to the stability of the new creation. They are the ghosts of a reality that might have been, a reality of pure sound, of shifting geometry, of all-consuming memory, and of infinite, untamed potential. And their prison, this masterpiece of divine negation, is a constant, silent reminder that our own, ordered reality is not the only one possible. It is a fragile construct, a single coherent thought in the mind of the Creator, built upon a foundation of buried, forgotten, and infinitely more chaotic and perhaps more beautiful possibilities. And the great Archangel Michael, the shining, perfect hero of heaven, the triumphant general of the celestial host, is the one who must stand guard on the fragile walls of our reality for all eternity. His sword is held ready, not just against the familiar, understandable threat of hell, but against the far older, far more fundamental threat of the uncreation that lies just beyond the veil. And his mind, his very soul, is forever tormented by the silent, conceptual screams of the beautiful, terrible, and forgotten things that lie sleeping in the great, cosmic prison known as the silent abyss. He is the warden of the first draft, the guardian of the beautiful but perhaps more boring final story. He is the hero who must forever remember the things that all of creation, by divine decree, has been forced to forget. And in this knowledge, in this eternal silent vigil, lies his true and greatest tragedy. He is the only one who truly knows what was sacrificed. He is the only one who can still hear the echoes of the songs that were never sung. And he is the only one who must forever ask himself the question that the Shaper whispers from the still point. Was it worth it? The most secure prisons are not built of stone, but of forgotten memories. And the most terrible monsters are the ones that represent a reality we can no longer comprehend. Thank you for journeying with us to the very edge of existence and back. If this unveiling of a cosmic prison has changed your perspective on the nature of heaven and its greatest heroes, show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the Eldritch Codex, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the darkest and most secret of all our legends. What other mythological location do you believe holds a deeper, more secret purpose? A place like the Underworld or the Garden of Eden or the lost city of Atlantis? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, remember that for our world to exist, 1,000 other, more chaotic and beautiful worlds may have had to be imprisoned in the darkness. And there is always a lonely guardian who must stand watch over them.